Hey mamas, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to bring up the topic about what causes stillbirth, because after going through my own experience a couple of years ago, I wanted to learn more about it. So I did some research and gathered information to shed some light on this for you. I know that it is a fear that many women have when you are pregnant, and if it has happened to you, I'm sure it's something that you want to understand more of. Also, I am going to be sharing what happened to me in my particular situation, and let's jump right into it. So first, let's define what is stillbirth. So stillbirth is defined as when the baby dies after 20 weeks of pregnancy. An early stillbirth is when the baby dies between 20 and 27 weeks. A late stillbirth is between 28 and 36. And a term stillbirth is when the baby dies between the 37th week or after. Now, there's a difference between stillbirth and miscarriage. When you have a miscarriage, it's also a loss of a baby, but it happens before 20 weeks of pregnancy. So as I mentioned, I did some research on what causes stillbirth from a couple of different websites, and the most common explanations were the following. In many cases, no cause can be found. There is failure of the placenta, which is the most common known reason, and the placenta is the baby's lifeline, so it is very crucial to the growth and the development of the baby. There is infection, where 1 in 10 stillbirths happen because the mother contracts some type of infection. This could be a bacterial infection that moves from the vagina into the womb, such as group B strep, chlamydia, influenza, E. coli, etc. There could also be, some sort of trauma, like a car accident. And also there's lifestyle choices, which include drinking, drugs, smoking. You're more likely to have a stillbirth in those types of scenarios. So in my situation, my doctor ran a couple of tests to rule out the cause, such as genetic test, a test for infection, and ultimately in my situation, the issue was with the placenta. Again, that placenta is the lifeline for the baby. Or if there are issues with the placenta, that decreases the chance of the baby receiving the oxygen that he or she needs, a blood supply, and nutrients. So that ended up being the biggest factor of my stillbirth experience. But I also believe that there were contributing factors. In my scenario, I believe one of the biggest contributing factors was that I had a very high stressed, high tense pregnancy due to the circumstances that I was dealing with in my life. And at that time, I know that in my heart, I feel that my stress levels definitely had contributed to my stillbirth experience. As you know, stress is a killer. Stress is the number one killer. It drives people to so many different types of illnesses. And again, as I mentioned, I believe it was a very big contributing factor in my stillbirth experience, even though, the doctors won't talk about that much. But I do feel that it was a contributing factor. So, and one more thing that I just really would like to point out here is that just because you've had a stillbirth experience does not mean you cannot have a healthy and great pregnancy. I now have a 2.5-year-old son, and I'm currently pregnant. So don't lose hope, and know that each pregnancy is different. As always, I'm rooting for you, mama.